he's really training much harder than the natural guy. The natural guy has to think more logical. He has to worry about training too much because he cannot recover too fast.
네, 모두 배트리즘에 도착했습니다.
Alright, so hi everybody, my name is Bart van der Molen. I am the owner of the Muscle Factory here in Thailand. We have two branches, one in Bangkok and one in Pattaya. So we are the largest gym in Thailand and probably the most equipped gym in Asia. So I've been competitive bodybuilding for about 30 years. I started when I was 21. I became 2 times Mr. Junior Australia, so that's a class that's 21 years and under. Then I competed in the 96 Universe and I got 9th. And then I came back in 2004 and I won the Mr. Universe.
And
so in the meantime, I got my Masters in Applied Science for Nutrition. So I'm technically a clinical dietitian. So after I retired from competitive bodybuilding and opening up this gym, I focused more on nutrition and coaching, and I can do blood work. And now I'm actually currently going for my PhD. So I want to become a doctor of nutrition. Yeah. Okay, there's a large misconception predominantly about protein. We always think more is better. We believe that taking protein directly after training is important, which is actually not the case. We've done many studies and research on this where timing of protein is irrelevant. In other words, it's not important. What is important is consistency of protein. So if you're a 200-pound bodybuilder, you must consistently eat roughly about 220, 225 grams of protein every day to maintain that muscle mass. The time that you eat that is not important. So when you finish training and then immediately take protein drinks, it's not going to be any different if you wait 2 hours or 3 hours. It is that consistency of taking protein all the time. Your cells can only absorb so much protein per time. So if you eat 60 grams of protein in one sitting, not all of that protein is going to be used to build muscle. Okay, so, and then you have the equation of, should I eat lots of carbs or should I eat lots of fats? I always say this, they're both energy, and your body can run really good on carbs and it can really good on fats. But it can't run on both at the same time. So you have to pick. You want to go high carbs, low fat, or you want to go high fat, low carbs. If you're a bodybuilder like Mr. Chul, I would recommend high carbs because we can use that explosive energy from the glucose to fuel the workout. If you're asking me, is there a difference between men training and female training? Absolutely not. Whether you're a male or female, it doesn't matter. Biologically, there is no difference other than the hormone testosterone and estrogen. That's the only 2 hormones. Estrogen is the female hormone that is anabolic, and testosterone is the male hormone that's anabolic. But when it comes to driving muscle, the training that you do for a man applies identical to a woman. I've been a coach for the last 20 years. I train men and women. I don't train them any different or any special way. It's just bam. If they're going for a certain contest, if it's a figure or a men's classic, you change the training for that class. It doesn't matter if they're men or women. No, when you start adding exogenous testosterone, you have the ability to process protein at a higher rate. You can recover at a higher rate. So in actuality, the guy that's enhanced can train much harder and much faster than a guy that's natural. Because the guy that's natural, he cannot synthesize protein at the same rate. He cannot recover at the same rate that a guy that's enhanced. And we always look at when a bodybuilder uses anabolics that he's lazy. But in actuality, he can train much harder and faster and recover and repair much faster. So he's really training much harder than the natural guy. The natural guy has to think more logical. He has to worry about training too much because he cannot recover too fast. For me, I would do the complete opposite. If you're enhanced, you can do 2-day splits because you can recover faster. But if you're a natural, you need longer time to recover. So if you're training AM and PM, you're really going to start overtraining at a much faster rate.
Yes.
So for me, I think it's the opposite to be true. If you're using supplements, you can recover faster. If you're a natural guy, you have to train smarter, not harder. And that means training once a day. It really makes sense, because how can you recover as fast as a bodybuilder that's enhanced? You cannot do it. Like I said, the guy that's using the anabolics, he's going to get a little bit more return out of it. But most bodybuilders that I know, like Lee and all the top bodybuilders, training is first, sleep is second, eating is third, and the medicine is the last thing that they really use. It is not number one, but many people think that the anabolics is number one and then everything is second. No. We started with training, eating, and sleeping. Only later did we start to introduce supplements so we can recover and train even harder. But the natural bodybuilder, what he wants to do, he wants to put himself on a higher ground and like he's better than you because I'm doing this natural. Well, that's great for you, but the same principles that you're using is what the bodybuilder enhancer is using. There is no difference. I think it's great. It makes no difference whether you train on a full stomach or an empty stomach, because the way the body stores energy, it stores it in cells. So whether you eat right before you train, that doesn't mean that food you're going to use as energy. It's impossible to do, because the body already has stored energy in the cell. It must use that first. When you eat food, the pancreas releases insulin and then takes that food into the cell. But if there's food in there already, energy, it's going to use that first. So if you wake up in the morning and you train on an empty stomach, you're not training on an empty cell. You're just training on with no food. The cell is still going to give you the same amount of sugar. And in the gym, you're going to burn 1 gram of sugar per minute.
Oh.
Right? So think about this. So you have to burn 60 grams of sugar before you are empty. Your liver alone carries 80 to 100 grams. Your blood contains 3 grams. Your cells can contain up to 40 grams. So if you train empty, trust me, you have plenty of energy already stored in your body. I think it's silly, and I'll tell you why. Salt is an electrolyte. An electrolyte is where electricity goes through and turns on the cells. Salt has more than just sodium. It has many minerals. And what salt does, it helps insulin drive glucose and amino acids into the cell. So even if you had no carbohydrates, you should eat salt. Because without salt, your body cannot absorb or release insulin for the absorption. So in the morning, if you wanted to train fasted, at least drink salt. Warm water, salt. You'll get way more benefit out of it if you don't use salt. And in Thailand, it's hot and you sweat. And when you sweat, you don't sweat water, you sweat electrolytes, salt and potassium. So you must, as a bodybuilder, consume salt all the time. You have to avoid processed salt, the salt that you see in fast foods like pizza and McDonald's. That's just one sodium, and that is bad. Pink Himalayan salt, sea salt. As a bodybuilder, it is a must. You must have it. Okay, so what's making Muscle Factory attractive? It's like the oxygen in Kuwait. It's like the Gold's Gym in the US. It's becoming known, it's becoming popular, so we constantly have bodybuilders like Lee Chill coming in. We've got bodybuilders coming in from Europe. These are IFBB pros. The atmosphere in this gym is, you got world champion powerlifters, world champion bodybuilders, world champion weightlifters in here, all under one roof. That gives you atmosphere. So if you walk into a gym like that, you're going to see so many people trying to be champions. It's very difficult to sit here and not be encouraged. You got a mass monster like Lee Chill walking around, how can you not be encouraged? You're a 16-year-old boy and you see a man like this, you're going to train hard. The thing is, I'm an old bodybuilder. This is my gym. I was Mr. Universe, so I know how to train and know how to eat. So we put everything under one roof. We give you the best equipment that we could find, and we support it with the best meals that you can have. So if you come in here, we give you all the chicken, all the rice. Mr. Lee likes spaghetti and beef, so we make it lean beef, lean spaghetti. Everything is lean. We have all the pre-workouts. We have all the supplements there for you. You can literally leave Korea not take anything with you. Come here and everything is for you here.